Bob, would you like to talk a little bit about the inspections that are going on and what FDA is doing out there?
Absolutely. Just want to say I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping Tom would come with news of settlement in the tariff dispute, but I guess that didn't happen. Bob Bauer, Association of Food Industry, so we're the trade association for the food import industry. So that's kind of where we come from. So I had the honor of serving on the task force that developed the FSVP, Foreign Safety. What am I doing here? FSVP.
Foreign Supplier Verification.
Foreign Supplier Verification Program.
You're becoming a Washington bureaucrat.
Yes.
You can only use
I can only speak in acronyms. I'm sorry. That's a component of FSMA, and obviously it deals with the imported product. But I'll touch on a little bit of both. So FSVP is new for the industry, and it's also new for FDA. And so what we found is that there had to be a lot of education on the FDA side and on importer side. It used to be, not singling out Tom in particular, but Tom might come to a show like this, visit somebody on the floor, gain a level of comfort, maybe look over a few documents and feel comfortable enough to start importing from that person, but with no documentation to show that he had procedures to approve that person or that only buy from approved suppliers. And so there's things like that that are falling through the cracks because perfectly legitimate companies have been in business on both sides of the water, so to speak, for years and years, and who never had a problem, all of a sudden are faced with these regulations. And what happens when FDA knocks on that door of the importer, they want to see your FSVP program. And that program has to have things in it such as procedures to approve foreign suppliers and the document to show you approve that particular foreign supplier. The food safety, what they're going to do when they come, by the way, is, all right, we're coming about these 1, 2, maybe 3 entries. And they want to see your documentation where you can prove that those entries that probably came in a few months ago met the food safety requirements here in the United States. So if there are people in the room who haven't paid attention to what the regulation is, if and when that inspection takes place, you're not going to have a good time because you are not going to have that. And what we're seeing now, FDA, thankfully, with FSMA, did educate while we regulate. What they were doing, they come in, inspect you, tell you this is where you're falling short. And this is what you have to do to get up to what it is. And they might have said, in 30 days, provide me this documentation, that sort of thing. Well, it's shifting away now from educate while we regulate, and the enforcement is starting to come into play. The first warning letter was written against an importer not too long ago. Now keep in mind, though, that company really dropped the ball. Not only had they not done anything, after the inspection, they were told, here's when we want the documents. They didn't do anything. So they have a warning letter, and they're in a boatload of trouble, in terms of a long-term strategy. So, in a nutshell, the importers in the room need to take the time to learn about what that regulation is, because the status quo, something you were doing 5 years ago, is not going to be enough.